Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. I'm sitting up here at my house in Wisconsin, getting hit by leaves because it's fall time. And I got to tell you, one thing that I've always felt like puts northern anglers at a disadvantage is the fact that we don't get to go and experience a lot of the lakes that are down south. You know, I've always said that experience is a huge factor in being a good, well-rounded fisherman. And for me, as a touring professional, that was one of the hardest things for me to adjust to, is getting experience on all the different types of lakes around the country. But I will also say that living up north gives me the advantage of being able to fish a lot of different species that react similar to bass in certain ways. And because of that, I've taken a lot of things that I've learned while fishing for walleye, fishing for muskie, pike, those type of species, that I've been able to relate over into the bass fishing world, that a lot of places throughout the country, the fish don't see these tactics. And one of those tactics is one I want to give away today that I've kind of taken from walleye fishing and applied over into, you know, the bass world. That's helped me catch a lot of fish and cash me several checks in tournaments where I was really struggling. And I attribute a lot of it to the fact that the technique is one those fish don't ever see. So today I want to talk about something that I've done with Carolina rigs. And it has to do with something that I've learned in the walleye world when you're throwing like a spinner rig, where you may be trolling a night crawler. And a spinner rig is basically where you put a small spinner on your line in front of a night crawler or whatever the bait is that you're utilizing. And at some point in my career, years ago, I thought to myself, why don't we ever see this in the bass fishing world? So I've gone ahead and kind of played around with it and come up with some really good approaches that work well in the bass world. And one of them has to do with a Carolina rig. So in this case, I mean, I've done a video before on the Lindy rig and how I like to throw the no snag Lindy rig when I'm Carolina rigging. That's something, there's a whole nother video on, you can go watch that one, but that's not what today's tip is on. Today's tip has to do with putting a spinner in front of your bait. So in this case, I've got a Berkley Power Hawg. It's a power bait Power Hawg, one of my favorite Carolina rig baits. Any sort of big creature bait I like to use with a Carolina rig. Brush Hog's a good one. You know, those big bulky baits really glide very well in the water when on a Carolina rig. But in this case, what I've added to it is a simple, it's a quick change spinner rig, as well as just a bead to keep it off of the knot a little bit. But in this case, so that little clevis, it's a quick change clevis, allows me to take the spinner off and attach it. So if I want to fish a Carolina rig without the spinner, I can do that. And then you've just got that little part sitting above. At the same time, if I want to change different blades or different colors, I can do it just as fast too as just snapping it into place. But that's a walleye piece, right? That's something that guys have used for walleye fishing for a long time. They use a spinner as an attractant to bring fish in to the bait that's behind the spinner. And in this case, you know, I've just put it in front of the bait, and it works wonders, guys. It really creates a lot of flash, a lot of motion. I mean, it's really just a matter of adding a spinner to your bait. So I'm going to take you down to the water, show you a little bit of footage of it just in the water. You know, it's not, you know, anything crazy or hard to do, but it's something the fish haven't seen. It's something that I personally have never seen another pro do. It's something I've always kept in my back pocket. And like I've said before, now I'm kind of giving away my secrets, and this is one of them. So if you're doing it, guys, I'd love to hear what you have to say about it, and if it's been successful for you. But if you haven't done it, I highly recommend giving it a try. Personally, I like to use it in areas where the fish see lots of Carolina rigs, and I like to use it in areas where there may be a little bit of off-colored water, just to create some additional flash and vibration to allow that fish to be able to track your bait. So let's go down to the water and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, guys, we're down here at the river with our Power Hawg Carolina rig with a blade with a quick change clevis to allow us to put different blades on if we want, or take the blade off. A totally different presentation for a Carolina rig that will draw a lot of flash, a lot of vibration, and give those fish just a completely different look to the traditional Carolina rig. You know, when you let the bait fall, that blade will still flash a few times. You know, you can give it quick rips and it really will rip go, and it also will keep that bait up off the bottom a little bit, which at times I believe is a good thing. You know, if those fish are a little bit higher off the bottom or want a slower fall, that blade creates more lift and gets the bait off of the bottom, which is something that I think is important when dealing with a Carolina rig. But it's something that works well as a different presentation. The other thing I'm going to add that's nice with that quick change clevis is if you want to switch up the different colors or different blade size, you can do that super easily, and play around with it all day. You know, it's something where I've had success throwing like orange blades, or chartreuse blades have worked really well too. But give it a try, guys. If you enjoy the video, hit that like button, share it on your social media pages, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We got more tips and tricks coming out tomorrow. Thanks for watching.